Hello, users, and welcome to another episodic installation of Above It All, the series in which I talk about political happenings and how much I hate the Democrat Party. Absolutely cannot stand the Democrat Party. And very similarly to what happened in 2016, I voted for Jill Stein after they cheated Bernard out of the nomination. Now, I'm not sure what I'm going to do this time. I live in a kind of swing state. North Carolina's it's one of those states that, we live in an unprecedented world, right? So, like, North Carolina going blue, it's happened before, it could happen again. So, before I used to live in Maryland, that's kind of like I voted Jill Stein in Maryland. I'll have to really think about things, but of course, if we even have a general election, I don't even know how this is going to happen. So the world may be completely different at this point, but I'm going to, at this point, start paying more attention to Howie Hawkins. I've seen some videos about him before, and he seems like a pretty reasonably intelligent guy. Probably a little bit more intelligent. I'm looking for something on my desk right now. Probably a little bit more intelligent and likable than Jill Stein was. Not to say I didn't like Jill Stein. But I was probably at the time, far more interested in the vice pick. I think it was Jumu Baraka. I thought he was pretty interesting. He was definitely, back in 2016, I was not as far left as I am now. So he said a lot of things that really caught my attention. I was like, whoa, people can say that, so it's one of those things. And I'm hoping that the vice for Green Party is going to be interesting as well. But chances are, it's not going to be Bernie, even though I'm going to play this clip in just a second here. But Howie Hawkins, like Jill Stein, is basically saying if Bernie wants to use the Green Party's ballot access and their infrastructure to continue his run into the general, that they would let him. So I'm just going to play this clip and we'll go from there. So let's see what the folk have to say.
So Jill Stein made an offer to Bernie 4 years ago when she saw the Democratic Party cheat him out of the nomination. Well, we see it happening again. Is there anything you want to say to Bernie right now?
Bernie, we've known each other since the 70s. I dropped leaflets for you in 2 campaigns in 1972. I organized a showing of your slideshow on YouTube.
Oh, is this like Twitter clips but on Reddit?
Organized a showing
Nothing
of
works
your
these days, I swear to God.
YouTube.
Oh my God. Unbelievable.
Later in the 70s and so on. So, I would say to you, if you want to break with the Democrats and come to the Green Party, we should have a discussion. Your people, your supporters, and you want Medicare for all, a Green New Deal, tuition-free college. And the only way we're going to be able to fight for those things the rest of this year is if you run or, I'm going to carry forward those things. But Joe Biden certainly isn't. You know what he did to you in the last debate? He said they had single parent in Italy.
So I'm just going to, basically this gets the point across. And I'm going to, resume my speech. I don't like the Green Party. I'm just going to say this up front. The Green Party, especially in 2016, they had a lot of opportunity. And, it's one of those things. I'm in leftist circles. I follow a lot of leftists. And I follow almost nobody that has even mentioned the Green Party outside of voting for them, as a spite vote in November, which is, it's a semi-reasonable thing to consider. And, I'll make more content as far as that's concerned closer to the general, because it's kind of useless to pontificate over this stuff really now, too much. But it's one of the things that the Green Party could become a Labor Party. They could radically change their infrastructure. The Libertarian Party, which is honestly just cringy, has more infrastructure and more voters than the Green Party. And that's one of those things where, if the Bernie base, if 30-40% of the Democratic Party were to en masse move over to the Green Party, right, that could have a substantial effect. That could, right? But the thing is, if you get even 10-20%, let's just look at this on a general election scheme, right? If the Green Party could get 20%, is that enough to make it worth it, I don't know. If they could get 30 or 40%, that's one of those things where if you can get over like a 1/3, you know what I mean? That's something to start looking at. Like that's something to start looking into. And the Green Party has not really radically done anything to expand their infrastructure, their ballot aspects. I know a lot of people in the Green Party have tried, but it hasn't really permeated the consciousness of people. People just know, oh yeah, Ralph Nader, Jill Stein. Like that's what most people think when they think of the Green Party. And they really do need to change that brand because, again, if we were able to mobilize, like, get every single Bernie voter, best case scenario, you get like 30 to 40% of people from, I don't know how that translates into a general electorate, but like if you were to get 30% in a general, then we're talking. If you were to get like 10 to 20%, then we're talking trajectory. Then we're talking, for maybe 8 years, and you can actually be a substantive Labor Party. But it's just one of those things where right now they're kind of cringe. And that's my huge apprehension with the Green Party. And it's one of those things where, do I think that the Justice Democrat way of doing things is going to be the way of the future? I don't know. Do I think the Green Party is more likely to be that vehicle? I don't know. I have no idea. At this point in time, the Green Party does not show that they are that vehicle. I think, the fact that we have AOC, Ilhan, and Rashida in Congress, I think that's a good step in the right direction for the Justice Democrats. But do I think it would be more interesting if people were to just stop caring about party whatsoever? Like, for example, you could just run as a Republican. You run as a communist in the Republican Party. That would be a cool idea, right? Like, why not? Like the way that Justice Democrats is kind of set to function is they primary corporate Democrats, which is important, totally, but that cedes a lot of ground to the right wing. Like half the country are red states. If you were and a lot of people just, I hate the Democrat Party. You know what I'm saying? So if you could run, maybe not, say that you want to install like a Leninist society as a Republican, but you could totally run as a left-wing Republican. It's the infrastructure's there, and honestly, I would even reckon it's probably in a lot of ways easier than running as a left-wing Democrat, just because the Democratic establishment really just kind of fucks itself in like a very procreative it generates a lot of inbreeding in how they function, and they don't cede power too easily. And the Republican, at least in the Republican primaries, you don't see them cheating every other candidate. You know what I'm saying? So it's one of those things that's something to look at. Run as a left-wing Republican. I think we being an American left that's conscious, should be looking at all possible options, but it all needs to be organized. If you got like 3 people running in the Republican Party as left-wingers, and you got like 4 people doing it in the Democratic Party as left-wingers, and you got like 1 person in the Green Party, fuck it, let's throw a libertarian in there, you know what I'm saying? Like, they have to be connected in a way, that actually makes it so that it's not like a splintered movement. You know what I mean? So it's either you connect everyone into one mass mobilization, or you spread the seeds everywhere, but also share lists and donor lists, and also make sure that you've got at least a shadow network together that makes things easier to organize. I don't know if it's, again, there's lots of logistics here, but I just don't think the Green Party is that vehicle. I don't think Bernie Sanders is going to hop on the green train. It would be cool. It'd be interesting. It would be historic, whatever that's worth, right? But I don't think that's going to happen. But it's just one of those things. The Green Party really does need to just do a lot more to get that kind of outreach for people to take them seriously. If they could even get to the 10% range, then we're talking about something. Then we're talking about an actual thing that we can look forward to. But they're 20, they haven't done anything from 2016 to now except for prop up a president and presidential candidate. And again, I think they're doing more harm than good in that instance. And again, you can even go back even further to 2000. Why doesn't the Green Party have at least 1 person in Congress? You think there's more independents than there are Green Party members of Congress, so it's one of those things where it's super weird. And I could respect them if they actually tried to mount a serious, if they were to pour a lot of money into one person getting elected to Congress. Like, if they were to, like, fundraise for the next 2 years to get one representative in Congress, that would do a lot more than just running a presidential candidate that gets 4% of the vote every 4 years. Like, that would be substantive. You can look at that and you can say that is actual progress. You know what I'm saying? And that's what the Green Party needs to do. That being said, would Bernie running as a Green be interesting? That would sure as hell be really fucking cool. And I'm all here for it. Like, if he does it, I'm down. But I don't think he will. And at this point in time, I do think Greens are doing more harm than good. They should just consolidate all of their resources on one fucking person in Congress. That would be, I think, way more substantive than doing this whole charade every 4 years. But that's just my opinion. Let me know what you think about the Green Party. I don't talk about them often, so I kind of gave my full, complete analysis of them in this video. So feel free to tell me what you think. But yeah, as of right now, again, the Green Party, not a huge fan. They could definitely be a lot better. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video. This is my thing that I do. Like, I do this whole, like, whoosh, like, fancy ending. Like, wow, look at me. I'm moving in eccentric ways. And, I'm going to turn the video off soon. So why are you even still watching?